across the floor. Footsteps echo, then no more. Cold hands reach where light won't stay, calling you to come and play. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night. Darkness sings but feels alive. Eyes that follow from the wall. Silent voices start to call. Heartbeat racing with the drums. You can run, but still they come. Dancing shadows spinning fast. Fear and laughter, they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night. Darkness sings but feels alive. Eyes that follow from the wall. Silent voices start to call. Heartbeat racing with the drums. You can run, but still they come.
Welcome back, everybody. You'll see that we have our guest on stage. That's
Yes.
okay. We're going to introduce him soon. So tonight we're going somewhere very few have ever gone, into the center of a 12-sided geometric chamber built by hand, powered by sound, and hidden away for over 2 decades. So introducing our guest, Scot Guariglia. He is the pioneer of the energy healing and the mind behind the Dodecahedron Sound Healing Device. So, if you've ever felt tingles from a pyramid or experienced a sudden warmth during Reiki session or wondered if intention and sound could literally reshape your energy field, this is a conversation for you. So, everybody give a warm welcome to Scot.
Well, thank you so much.
You're very
honestly, Scott, we've been looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this for weeks now, and everybody, you're in for such a treat tonight because I've watched all your TikTok videos. I couldn't help myself. I had to watch them all one night. I binged them. I spent ages just watching them all and giving you likes and stuff like that. And the first question I want to ask you, Scott, and I know we talked about this, we had a wee meeting like this, and we talked about some stuff, but obviously our viewers have not. How did this happen for you? What was your first inkling into this?
Well, long time ago, I was working with a pyramid. First made my first pyramid out of cardboard from a milk carton. It was a little thing, but I could feel like a breeze or a little energy over the top of it, and I was super intrigued by it. And I thought, is this my imagination or is this something real? And I thought, well, if it happened again, maybe there's something more to it than I would expect. And I kept checking it, and it always did the same thing. And then it was about 5 years later, and I was learning about Plato. This friend of mine kind of enlightened me about the platonic solids. And I saw there was an energy associated with each of them. And the dodecahedron intrigued me the most because that was the link to the etheric realm. So literally, I thought, well, this could be very interesting. What a cool way to pierce the veil if there was something to this. Yeah. So I made this form. It wasn't as big as the one that's in, this is what I call the Starship behind me here, and the one that you've seen with all the platonic solids integrated into a system. But that dodecahedron itself, over 45 years, has created some of the most interesting and bizarre experiences of my entire life.
Yes.
You can almost name it. I know you're familiar with a lot of that since you saw a lot of the videos.
I'm going to admit, I've watched all your videos and I found it fascinating. And the reason I found it fascinating, my friend, his name's Lewis, and he actually showed me something and I was like, this is far out. And I can't figure it out to this day. He actually printed off a pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, on a little bit of paper. And he says, right, see if you've got any pain anywhere in your body, I want you to place that pyramid upside down, so the pyramid's aiming onto your solar parts. So I
Mhm.
tried it, and it worked. It
Wasn't
like
that some-
10, you could feel the heat, and the heat generates, and it started. And then it was a couple of weeks later, I was surfing the TikTok, and I came across you, and something just said, "You need to get this guy on the show. You need to interview this guy because what you've done is revolutionary."
I think it is. When I first made the dodecahedron in this size, my son was able to see energy around people at that time.
Yes.
And literally, because my wife was in a pyramid and had an incident where she thought something was wrong with the baby. And I knew something had changed there, but it had to be a positive outcome. So I told her probably 45 minutes, that'll go away, which it did. But his remarkable vision was incredible. He'd look at, I had a star tetrahedron and a pyramid and a dodecahedron all nested together. And he says, Dad, I'm going to turn the vision of one field off to look at the next. And he could turn that off and used it like an exercise to see through each of these fields
Yes.
of each of these. Even though they're open, like what's behind me,
Mhm.
there's an energy field in each one. And the dodecahedron has 12 individual frequencies.
Yeah.
And I always noticed that. Well, I had a little one and I brought it around to different places and tested his vision on that little one. And the upper face facing north was always green or a lime green.
Wow.
See,
And
that's
here we are 45 years later, and I found a guy who could see, and he said the exact same thing. That was down
yeah.
in Florida at a little event where I set up the dodecahedron. So it's geospatially locked. If you turn it
Mhm.
off by about 45 degrees, those fields flip back and forth. This is the way he described it. So knowing that, I was able to generate the Starship configuration, which is all geo-positioned as well.
Wow. That is just incredible. I'm going to change the subject just for a little bit so we can have a
Yeah.
better understanding of what this device really is.
All right.
So I know that, first of all, you mentioned in your notes that this device actually sat in storage for like 20 years.
Yeah, I got afraid of it for a little bit.
Gotcha. What made you decide that now is the time to bring it back? And after I ask you this question, I will have a following one. So,
Okay. Well, my late wife, she passed away about 8 years ago or so, and I had this big living room, and I thought, what if I just put that dodecahedron system in there? And I was to sleep in it, get as much immersion into the thing as possible. And that was after that, storing it all those years. The reason I stored it was because I had learned from the onset that it's an open portal to
Yes.
the etheric realm. That
Mhm.
means entities can freely come in and out.
yeah.
And one instance, there was a negative entity that came through it right after I put it together, and
Mm,
that concerned me, and I learned how to take care of that. And when I did, when I learned that our imagination is real in their world, I thought I can do anything with them I want.
yeah.
Yes.
Since then, I've been protected. I don't have bad dreams. There is no negative influence whatsoever in any of the forms. No person that's ever had a session in 45 years has ever had a negative. In fact, it's always extremely positive. But I protect those people like with a vengeance while
Yes.
they're in there, and calling Archangel Michael and any assistance from around the area. And it's been 100% spectacular ever since. So then you get to really explore and have fun. But there was a few times where I felt like I was dissolving, like my existence
Mhm.
was dissolving into it.
Wow.
And also, it opens the meridian channels of your body. So being in there a lot of the day, a good portion of the day, plus all night, and doing this progressively over and over and over, it just keeps building and building and building. And you wonder, what is going to happen to me
Yeah.
eventually? Am I going to just like explode in the starlight or what? Because
Yeah.
you feel the tingling and like the rush of energy just keeps building through the cells. I'd love to have some anti-aging, like,
I was going to ask you about that.
yeah,
I was going to ask you about that.
it's well, I'm 68. I feel the best I've ever
Yeah.
felt in my life equally. So, um, I I ran the Senior Olympics in 2018, got the silver medal. for 200
Wow.
meter sprints, which was pretty fun. It's like
Yeah.
never did that before. Don't know if I'll ever do it again, but on a whim, that was pretty fun. There's just a lot of things you can do with this energy once you start to feel it, work with it,
Yes.
and have it build, that you can direct it with your mind. I did a lot of experimentation with people. I'd take my hand and hold it out and point it at somebody's shoulder and then go down their arm. And typically when it hits their wrist, they yell out and go, "Oh my God," and they can feel the
Yeah.
tingling as it's going down the arm. This is just wherever I imagine the light going, that's where the energy goes. It's pretty cool to
Right.
play with it.
It's
So
amazing.
So for people that don't quite understand what it is that we're talking about yet, could you
Uh-huh.
explain a little bit more about what the device actually is and what combines with it to have the healing effect it does?
Oh, you bet. Well, we're, of course, made of the elements earth, air, fire, and water. And the etheric is actually the fifth element, which, from what I've gathered, has been eliminated from the periodic table of the elements, although it wasn't quite an element like we think of elements. So I think that's been rephrased throughout time
Yeah.
with various connotations. But since we are made of the elements, think of the platonic solids as each element. Like, first of all, platonic solid is a form where all side lengths and angles throughout the form are identical. Like the cube, everybody can imagine a cube. All
Yeah.
side lengths and angles are the same. The cube is associated with earth. Tetrahedron is fire. The icosahedron is water. Octahedron is air.
Yes.
So when you're immersed in a balance of those concentrated energies plugged into the etheric, that's what I call the primordial energy state of creation itself. And from everything I've learned with the physicists and all, that is, in the beginning was the word. That's it. To me, that's it. It's a
Right.
vibration. It's a vibratory
Mhm.
situation where you're in there. And if you just relax and let your 3D recline a bit as your consciousness merges with the primordial energies of creation,
Mhm.
you're in the ultimate creator space. This is where this gets a little concerning. You have to guard your thoughts here. You want everything positive. So I've been
Yes.
working with AI to create very positive music, uplifting. It's kind of like the upscale idea of affirmations, except these are pretty much locked into your epigenetics through an emotional link.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they're much more effective. And what happens is you get this resonance with that primordial energy, which I think of as the divine. And if you can
Yes.
really get up there really high, and by high, I
Mhm.
mean in a state of joy
Yeah.
and love, unconditional love. I've seen this light, and a lot of people do. You've probably seen it, where they say they saw the light. And the
Yes.
closer you get, the more emotional you get. But literally on your closed eyes, you can see it light up like the sun shining on
Yes.
your eyes. First, it's just a glimpse. But if you can lock on that signature and just move into that high vibratory state, a lot of people think of that as a Christ consciousness. I know that's what it is. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's totally liberating. It's total freedom. And sometimes you can connect to like you're just connected to everything that exists all at once.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because you get the people that have had the near-death experiences,
Yeah.
and when they've crossed over, they've seen the white light, and they're
Uh-huh.
so drawn to it. And that's basically what you're actually doing. You're actually giving them a glimpse of source,
Very much.
what everything is made of.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating because I would love to feel what that would be like. Have you ever done the astro travel and see how you can get out your body and you can like travel to different realms like the Akashi records and other locations? Have you ever tried doing it within that?
Oh yeah. I had one gal, she said I've done drugs my whole life and never been able to do it. But I get in there one time and I went right out of my body. It's the visions and everything can be fantastic that way and investigating. Oh, some
Mhm.
people use it for remote viewing. It's
Yes.
whatever you desire really. It amplifies your intent is what it does. And
Yes.
eventualities in your life will come quicker. Like if you're headed for a new love, a new divorce, a new job, whatever that is. Oh, and I remember you asked me why did I get into this
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
time? I use my radio as a divination tool. So
Yeah.
I'll ask a question and then I'll turn it on. And if I hear my answer in the lyrics, I mean, it's either you get it or you don't. And I'd say probably 40% of the time I get a direct answer to every question I ever ask.
Yeah.
And one day I said, should I quit this job and then start my new venture with the forums to get that out? Or should I just keep with my job and store up some money so that I could put more into it when I get going? And I pushed that button and it said, this is literally in the music. It's phenomenal. It said, I've worked through the metaverse, quote, metaverse for 2 years. All the path work or the road work, everything, all the links, everything is created. Now it's time for you to do your part.
Wow.
That's about as
That's
distinctive as it
amazing.
gets. So I
Yes.
resigned the next day from my job. I didn't have any choice. So
Wow.
I've been working on that ever since. But
Wow. So actually, let's talk resonance.
sure.
Yeah, Peter.
What exactly happens when someone steps into the form with sound playing?
Well, every single person is a little different. Now, there was one guy, and I met him walking around the block down in the Cape Canaveral area down in Florida. And he was one of the guys that built the launch pads and this and that. And he had just retired. And I told him about the Starship configuration here. And he said, I'd like to try that. Well, eventually he gives me a call and he's coming over on a scooter, broke his ankle like some force didn't want him to come in for this
Wow.
experience. And so it was 3.5 weeks later, he's in a cast. He calls me up. I'm in a cast, but I'd still like to come and do it. I said, sure, come on. So he comes on over. We got him in there with the cast, which was really heavy and all that. And immediately within 10 or 20 seconds, he goes, I feel all these waves going through my leg, like intense waves of energy.
Yeah.
And he was just absolutely fascinated. But within seconds of getting in the form, he felt that. And it was 2 days later. Of course, the cast is off, and he's well, and he's walking around. Now, typically, I say there is one guarantee I can make for anybody or anybody that's in here: they will come out of that form more relaxed than when they in
Oh, I
it.
bet.
When in it,
I've seen the people on TikTok. I've seen people on your TikTok.
yeah.
Afterwards, I've seen them.
If I catch them quick after their experience, they can hardly talk because they're split between the etheric world and this still. Yeah, like waking up in the in the morning.
Wow.
Well, it's extremely regenerative. If I run low on energy at all later in the day, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if I hop in there for 40 minutes, it's just like I got up early in the morning from scratch.
Wonderful.
See that is amazing. I mean, I've obviously, guys, the link for his TikTok, Scott's TikTok, please go and check out all his videos, because I've watched people going in and then I see them coming out and they're like, they've changed. I mean,
Yeah.
do you think that this is something that if you spent long enough inside that, do you think your DNA would change
I
to
agree.
like a higher
I do.
level?
Yeah, I think your epigenetics are directly, well, they've already proven now recently through physics that our epigenetics are directly linked to what we say and how we think. And this thing really amplifies the impact of our emotions upon our physiology, and that feeling of electric light. It's like when I get spend 2 hours in here and go to bed, wake up in the morning, I don't even feel the pressure of my body on the bed as much as I do the energy of it. It's
See
like
that?
I just feel like I'm scintillating light floating on whatever. I mean, it's the ultimate maker space, the way I think of it. This is where all creation starts. And like I was thinking at one point after a few years, I thought it would be pretty cool to have a new partner to work with this, because this is way bigger than me, and that would add a whole new perspective. So I've got a new partner. Her name is Christine, and she knows how to work remotely and added a lot to this. But the thing of it was about a month before she came out of the etheric realm. So what I did is I kind of stipulated what would I like in a partner, and I put a passcode on that, which was really simple. She told me that passcode within like 1 minute. I thought, isn't that interesting? But then all the way down the line, there's so many things that we have in common with each other. It just makes it really magical.
Yeah, all of this is actually pretty magical.
Amazing.
But I know that there's some people still out there thinking of, well, if this is where creation starts, then how can this be weaponized or used for
Yeah.
Yeah,
the bad? So we
yeah.
might as well cover that now, I think.
Exactly. That's why I don't just put this up for sale.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to entertain the potential for acquiring this, it's not just the forms, it's the process as well. And I would be very, very careful about whose hands I would put this into.
Yeah.
If I duplicated the system. I get people asking for the dimensions all over and everything, but I'm
Yeah.
not giving out anything right now.
That
Keep
is
it guarded.
good. Whew.
I would keep it guarded because there is organisations out there that'll be sitting looking at this thinking,
Yeah.
that's interesting. The power that holds. I mean, it's interesting. Can I actually, what is it? It's made out of copper, but how long did that take to actually build? How long did it take you to build that?
Well, it's an evolution over 50 years, but the thing is, of course, your DNA is in the shape of the dodecahedron, so that was part of
Yes.
that as well. Our spirit, and I've discovered this myself, never read it anywhere else. Oh my goodness. I hate to go off on too many tangents, but you can steer me back. When I first built it, my son saw these entity lights. They were like spheres of light that came through it, and they went to the four corners of the ceiling, and then they started making pictures and communicating with me through him. I could never see them. I could feel them like in my hands and that.
Yeah.
But that became quite an adventure in and of itself. I felt like I was living in a movie. I forget where the heck we were even at. Do you remember the question you asked me originally?
How long did it take you to build it, and then
To
that,
evolve it?
yeah, to evolve
Yeah.
it, evolve it, yeah.
Well, after working with that dodecahedron for 45 years, a friend of mine said she was channeling Metatron. And
Yeah.
of course, we had a 20-year gap in between. But at this point, it was like he wanted me to put all the forms together. And I thought, you can't even put an icosahedron on a point and have it sit on the ground. It's like, how would you ever do that? So the support system that I came up with was integral to it. So that was really key to the whole thing. I thought, well, I'll just keep adding a form and a way to position it and hold it in place as I went. But then the pipes start crossing over each other, and you've got all these other little minute adjustments. So it took me probably about 4 months to get all of them in there. And originally, the original form of it, every connector was soldered, hand soldered, because I had to test, first of all, like I never experienced an icosahedron before. But when I integrated it into the other forms, I felt the hydration in my body because that's the water aspect.
Wow.
And all through my body, the hydration effect was predominantly more increased. And when I put the octahedron in there, I noticed I could breathe easier and lighter. And most people will say that, oh my goodness, I can breathe so much lighter because that's your air energy coming in. I've also noticed I don't have to eat very much compared to what I did or when I eat and I haven't been in there for quite some time. It's like a nutrient.
Yes.
And if you look, so hope I answered that question somewhat. So it's been a continual evolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was a study on the pyramid. I don't have the data. It's on my website in 2022 where they showed that if you were in the pyramid with the pi relationship, which is the only one I've ever worked with, your ATP production, your mitochondrial energy would be increased by like 30% if you were in there for 8 hours.
Wow.
I've heard this. I've seen people talking about this. This is so interesting.
It is, because that's your immune system is in your auric field. That's a good majority of your immune system that's never addressed by conventional anything.
Yeah.
So it does, it makes you feel like you're invincible and very much less, I think, apt to come down with some kind of an affliction of any sort whatsoever. And that's really, I think, well, when you think about the pyramid preserving things, I think it preserves life the way it is. It's an anti-aging modality.
Yeah.
So what I do is I spend part of the night in the Starship and part of the night in a pyramid typically.
Wow.
At 2 sleep stations. Of course, I can just use this as a sleep station here.
Yeah.
So who knows what the actual end result will be?
A wee question that I've got, but I'm going to let Sabrina go first because I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep this as a good question. If you go, Sabrina.
Uh-huh.
So then, what are your thoughts on the connection between intention, sound, and DNA? And can we actually program the body this way?
I think you can. It's interesting, like with the uplifting music, that's what drives your emotion. Your emotion then drives the experience, and your consciousness is directed through that uh, modality. Now, I had one younger guy that liked darker music, and I thought, well, it was progressive and in a positive way, but it sounded kind of dark, and we didn't have near the results that we get when we just choose the top end
Yeah.
divine oriented
Mhm.
directive for that. But given what they've discovered lately, I believe you can permanently change your epigenetics with this,
Yes.
at least to any degree. I don't know what it is. Um, it's like, well, people say, well, if you can't quantify this, it's not scientific, it's pseudoscience, and this and that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like saying, well, how do you quantify love? How are you going to measure that? And then
Right.
other people will say, well, what's quantum state? I mean, that's totally foreign, it doesn't make any sense to me. I say, well, when you read a book or say your name in your mind, and then you're just reading silently in your mind, you know where that's at? Because that's in quantum state right there. You're working with it
Yeah.
all the time. You don't even know
Yeah.
it.
Well,
I was, I was just going to say, some people don't like the idea of sacred geometry. The idea of sacred scares them. Well,
yeah.
the reason Jesus' head was on his shoulders like ours and he had 5 fingers is because of sacred geometrical proportions.
Exactly.
Everything from nature and God comes that
Yes.
way.
Yes. Exactly. There's something I would like to ask actually, and I have to ask this question because I don't know. I feel I'm getting weird messages, and
Okay.
I'm connected to the ET realm.
Okay.
Have you ever had any ET experience? There's two questions here. Have you ever had any ET experiences with this, or would you consider using this on trying to contact ETs? Because I've got a feeling if you do like, have you ever heard of like CE5 with Dr. Stephen Greer?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the tones because I've got it on my phone, and it's the tones because that can make me go really weird. It make me wonder what would happen if you tried to contact them inside that.
Well, one time back in the day when I was first working with the dodecahedron, I had the grays around my bed when I woke up and I couldn't move. It's a typical situation, completely like you're just not connected to your body. And whatever happens, I don't know, but I couldn't move no matter what. Because all I felt was a negative feeling towards these entities. And of course, they're just staring at you. That was another part of my initiative to find out how to stop any negative
Yes.
influence. And once I learned my imagination, their world is functional, it changed
Mhm.
everything from that point on. But there's a part of this. I don't know if you ever caught this because I don't put it out there. It's like top tier and a lot of people aren't ready for
Mhm.
it. But I've got a quantum radio system where I
Right.
use the dodecahedron as the antenna and been able to talk
That's
people
interesting.
straight over into the spirit realm.
Wow.
And one time, and I was with a friend and Galactic Federation identified themselves right through that
Yeah.
radio.
Yep.
And Rosicrucians were fantastic. Learned a lot from them. I've talked to past presidents. Their voices are so rich. I wish I
Hmm.
had their voice.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
like, oh my
Wow.
God. The things I've experienced are so in and out of this world in so many ways. It's like I'm really grateful for those opportunities. When I first put the form together, um, with the radio, with the quantum radio, I asked my wife, who's passed away now, but I asked her, I said, is there anybody you'd like to contact through this? Because, she's been watching me put it together. So I had the
Mhm.
radio in the dodecahedron.
Yep.
And her her sister's son passed away about a year and a half earlier, went to Costa Rica and came back. And I don't even know what took him out, but he passed away within days of returning. So she mourned him for quite a long time. Well, my wife, she says, Andy, which is his name, Andy, are you there?
Mhm.
He just yelled right through that box. He
That's amazing.
says, Melissa, hi, Melissa, is what he yelled out. to his sister, and you could tell that's him. That's him. And the day Prince died, and I've got that on YouTube as well. I think there's just like 24,000 views so far. But
Wow.
I asked what killed him, and the voice came on there, and they said it was actions of the stovepipe. And I thought, what the heck is that? It's unsanctioned information flow through government. They implicated the Bush-Cheney administration. They went all the way down the line with all this stuff. And it's like, guy at the end said he died a wealthy man. But I asked Prince, I said, can you sing something for me? And he sang Own the Stars. And that became the tagline, and actually created one of the AI songs influenced by Prince after he passed away. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So, do you believe this technology has the potential to be integrated into the mainstream medical spaces or in wellness in some way?
That's a very good question. I think on an emotional level, it's going to work. It always works
Yeah.
for healing emotional traumas and that kind of things, at least to some degree. And what happens is I've had a lot of people in there, and they go, I see these black like vapors or clouds coming out of me, and they go out through the forms and away.
Mm-hmm.
So that got me thinking in reverse. I thought, where do emotions come from? Our consciousness actually creates these emotions relative to the influence that is imposed upon us,
Yeah.
And you're just looking at it in reverse. Here's the quantum space just right there with you. You're immersed in it, and those emotions just seem to dissolve. I think of it like a emotional washing machine,
Yeah.
But goes right
Yeah,
back
so
where it came from.
Yeah.
yeah, it's taking that negative energy and replacing it with positive energy.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to say that in the future you're going to have lots of these, and then you're going to help so many people, because I do feel like there is a place for this in the medical side, because healing emotions, what people have been through, and not just that, contacting the other side, which I find so fascinating, because I've had many weird experiences.
I have a lot of dreams about things. In fact, 3 days ago, I had a dream I was on the backside of the moon looking at some of this mining equipment.
See,
And that was pretty cool. It's like getting these little insights into things. It's like automatic when you're working with this stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the remote viewing. So the
Yeah.
remote viewing, you can see like cities on Mars thousands of years ago, and on the back side of the moon, there's the ancient cities and the ancient mining, what the extraterrestrials used. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I mean, I think I want to try this. Sabrina, when are we going?
Oh, I know, really. It would be
Uh,
amazing.
I've years ago with the dodecahedron, I saw I'm working on these hybrids and these pods, and I could go. I remember this one guy with a machine gun. They were like guarded, and I could wave my hand right in front of his face, and I thought he can't see me at all.
It's probably like, do you hear something in his oxygen suit?
Yeah. Or do you feel that energy around us?
Yeah. Well, the building I remember was pretty cool. It was like scintillating blue light, like in the Matrix. Of course, we're talking about
Oh,
decades earlier, but yeah. And then I could go through the floors and just look. There were no walls. You could just look through and see what the guys were doing. You'd see these docs in white, all that
Wow.
with their lab coats, and then what they're experimenting with, and this and that. And I thought, pretty fascinating.
there's actually a question in the chat, and it's actually one that I was going to ask you. Actually, do you have this patented? And I hope you do.
Patented.
Oh, patented? No,
Patented.
actually, I
Patented.
did not
Oh,
intentionally. And the reason is because people who tend to patent things like this get killed off, and the ones that just throw
yeah.
it out there don't.
Yeah.
It's a safety thing. But one thing that people cannot copy is what I do with the people in the forums, and I go in with them. So it's not just primordial energies of creation, and it's not just their consciousness, but I merge with them as well. So when I'm outside of the form, I feel the energy. I'm very, very sensitive to energy, and that's how I've done all this stuff. So I sit there and I feel the level of energy. They get in it, and typically it'll double. It's like their consciousness expands and overlaps mine.
Mm.
Then I can monitor their response to the music by the emotional constitution of the energy around me. So I feel like a tactile energy density that increases when they're more emotionally engaged. And I can tell then which type of music is more effective for that person and tailor it. But I also often see what they see, and they see me. In fact, if you look through those testimonies, like a husband and wife right there that had done it, and both of them saw me multiple times, and I see them. A lot of times I want to try to show them where the light is to keep them
Yeah.
focused on the light. So sometimes they'll see me at a doorway and I open it and they can see the light through there. That one guy down there at the space center, who broke his leg, he had these little like ping pong ball sized multicolored lights and like 6 inches from his face. And I'm looking at this in the etheric and I thought, how's he ever going to see into the universe or anything beyond that? Because they weren't moving. It's the only time I've ever interjected with somebody's experience. So what I did is I just willed them to move aside, not to get rid of them because I didn't really know why they were there anyway. And they separated out and then they slowly went back. And this happened 3 times, which he confirmed afterwards. And I said, that was really cool. We could share that,
Yeah. So do you think that was actually a manifestation of a block that he has?
Could very well be. I don't know. I really don't know on that one.
That's interesting because, to me, it would represent energy in the form of light.
Yeah.
And maybe it's some kind of emotional block that he had that wasn't quite letting go of while he was under, or his subconscious was hanging on to.
I'm not sure, but they were very defined. So it's not like they were like a plasma, fuzzy kind of look or anything like that. One thing that I did discover, this is really cool. Working with this energy, these forms teach you things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had talked to my wife. I said, I'm going to try to remotely connect with you. And so I was working at a TV station at the time as a broadcast engineer. And that was a 22-year run that I went through with the top TV station. But I had to have the station on air at 3. Well, we had to be there at 3:30. I think we went on there at 4. And I found a way to connect our energy centers. I could tell you when she woke up. I could tell you when she took a bath. I could tell you when she exerted herself by feeling the energy around me and what was going on with it after I had made chakra links. And the way I did that was by taking like the heart chakra, creating an infinity sign between the 2 light spheres of those chakras, spinning them in an opposite vortex action and draw them together as one light. And that momentum will stick. Once you've got it, unless you cancel it, it just stays that way. It's like, these are the interactions that people have with each other and they don't even realize it.
Right.
So there's momentum to that. And if you can get an energy signature on somebody, like if I just talk, there was a gal I just talked to on the phone, and only hearing her voice with that signature, I helped. Well, she had multiple problems. I helped her with them, but then she gave me the ultimate challenge and didn't even realize it. She says, I got to go to the dentist tomorrow. And I says, can you wait one more day? She said, sure. So in dream state, taking this intent into dream state, of course, I'm always working with these forms to make this magic, but I had a dream that there was a needle between 2 of my teeth, pulled it out and dropped it on the table. And it went tink, tink, tink. I thought, we got it. Felt it with my tongue. I just felt a little dullness there. Called her up, verified the next day. Said 3 days it'll be fixed, and it was in 3 days.
Wow.
Completely healed. I don't even know what was wrong with the tooth, but the symbology in quantum state does precipitate into this realm, and a lot of our dreams are revolving around that in very, very cryptic ways.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that you can heal yourself.
Yes.
I'm a big believer you can. I mean, I'm a migraine sufferer. I get intense migraines quite a bit in my life. But with Sabrina's help, I don't get them as bad because I do a lot of like meditation. And that actually brings me to the music. Would you like to play some? Because I do feel like if you listen to the right frequency, whatever's wrong with you, it can heal you over a certain amount of time. It can help you.
It does. I canceled out our window and I've got a song here. I can aim my mic at it. I don't know if you'll hear it. I'll play a little bit and you can let me know if you guys can hear this okay.
Okay.
I can hear that through my headphones okay.
We can't hear it.
You do?
No.
No, we don't. Try
Oh,
if you
okay.
want. You can share your screen or you can share media if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, I tried that before and it canceled them all out. I wasn't able
Or
to do
did it
it.
cancel it all out? I
Yeah.
mean, is there anywhere people after this show could go and listen to those tones? Are they on your YouTube?
Yeah, I've got a few of those posted in various areas. Some on Facebook. I'm on
Right,
Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So if people scan
right.
those, they'll find some. And some of them I made videos about. One of them's called Ascend, which is a really neat one about ascension and really what that would feel like in the Starship.
Oh, wow.
It's like I'm ridiculously drawn to the image behind you. I mean, I'm ridiculous. I'm drawn to it like a moth to a white light. That's what I'm like, and it must be my psychic abilities and other things. And it's interesting because there's so much energy within that, and a lot of people don't realize. Hey, there's obviously everybody thinks that aliens are from space, but
Mm.
no, that's not really true. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the different dimensions. It'd be interesting to see if you could actually communicate with like an alien. I know you've already told us about the Galactic Federation, which I've had dealings with, and they're actually really interesting beings. I'm going to put it that way. But well, maybe a different dimension through that. I would love to see what would happen within that with like with Sabrina with her mediumship gifts, because it makes me wonder if it would make you stronger, you know?
Uh-huh.
I
It's
imagine it probably would.
Yeah.
it's very consistent about the way this opens energy pathways.
Yes.
And the more energy your body's got, the faster the recovery.
Mhm.
And it's also your hedge against aging and afflictions. So that's pretty much universal with this thing. I mean, we never really put anybody in there because they're sick. A lot of people give feedback. Well, why are they sick or why are they in there? It also enhances abilities. And I think there's about 150 to 160 abilities we can have and developed, everything from sensing energy
Yep.
to projecting energy to clairaudience. And
Yeah.
one gal had actually two people so far. All of a sudden, their hearing got extreme. This gal was hearing things from miles away. It was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And of course, psychokinesis has always fascinated me. Has anybody really done that? I watch people demonstrating it, but I've never met a person yet
Yeah.
that's been able to do that. I haven't either, no matter what I've done so far. But in the gym, I do a few exercises that are pretty unique. One of them's an inverted pull-up. I haven't found anybody on the planet yet that can do it that way. But
Yeah.
what I do is I spin the
I run
dodecahedron.
away for jumps.
If you want to counteract gravity, it becomes quite entertaining. So what I do is I'll take, like, if I'm going to do this thing, I got to be real light, and I flip upside down. I do the pull-ups upside down, vertical. But I imagine before I get in there that there's a dodecahedron spinning clockwise. That's the natural way that thing, looking from above, it would be a clockwise rotation, and then up to the back, down the front, and then up the left side, down the right side. So if you get those three axes running, like just 10 seconds on each one, that momentum sticks, just like when you connect energy with another person.
Yeah.
So these things are spinning, and then I imagine I'm cutting all the cords to gravitation. Imagine then I'm light as a feather and get up there and I can like fly. It's
Wow.
wild stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I thought, well, and a lot of us have these dreams where we can fly.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
thought, well, like if you're on the moon, like this place that I saw a few days ago in my dreams, which is cool because it was recent. Had stainless steel walls, and I thought, how do they do that? Well, then I was shown rolled steel, and they bring that up there, and they just roll it out over a frame and put it together. But you've only got gravity that's like 1/6 what it is here, and you're outside of the group mind restrictions to a good degree because you're more remote.
Mhm.
Given that combination, you can more effectively, I believe, levitate even your body. So
Yes.
that kind of thing would be really fascinating to investigate. There was one time I had a dream that I was on a UFO that was a living ship. And then I realized that's the way ships will be made. They're going to have an etheric, it's going to be an electronic signature, and your DNA is going to be synthesized and replicated over that
Yes, like a
form.
living. Yes.
And that way it's an extension of you, just like the DNA extension of your body.
Wow.
But how you propagate that geospatially on all axes in space, I have no idea yet.
It's amazing. I mean, honestly, everybody, you need to check out, and also check out the website. Now, there's a wee question that I'm going to let Sabrina, because I know Sabrina's got a big pile of questions for you. But what would happen? And again, this has got to sound mad, right? What would happen if you put it in water?
I wonder myself. If you look at I went to Egypt and the Great Pyramid, and I went around to remote pyramids in the area, and then I went to Chichen Itza, the Pyramid Temple. Went to Homestead, Florida, with the Coral Castle. All these places where people had moved these really massive stones, and
Yes.
all that. Water is always part of that
Yes.
equation underground every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So I started putting water in my forms. If you put a gallon of water in a jug in a pyramid, it's 2 to 3 days, and it's microclustered very well, so it has a real smooth, silky taste, very distinct. I've even had like one jar here filled with pyramid water and the regular, and it's like night and day
It's
between the
different.
two.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put it in here in 15 minutes, it's microclustered.
Wow.
I mean, it'll come out smooth as silk. And even people that have come
Nice.
in from out of town for a session, I'll say, taste this water. And they go, wow, is that something? It's unlike anything else. Where I'm from, or where my bug out location is in Mississippi, I've got an artesian well with 2,000 to 3,000 year old water. And when I take that and put it in here, there's no water on the
There you
planet
go.
I've ever tasted like that.
You should bottle it. You should bottle it.
Bottle it up.
Yeah.
Life force. Oh, there you go. You could call it life force.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible. I was thinking about doing some of those cymatic things. If I built one of those apparatus where you can look at the visual on, the vibrational characteristics of water when it's under the influence of these different frequencies, and it
Yeah.
takes on all the patterns.
Yes.
I thought if you had water from here, pyramid, and then unmessed with, or unstructured, you could probably see a difference in some of those subtle aspects of that form, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of thinking ahead there. Of course, crystallization of water would be something to look at too. I haven't even got to that yet, but it's hard to look under a microscope unless you're outside really freezing in the weather. Because otherwise your crystals will be melting instantly,
Right.
Yeah.
So, the Dodecahedron, or what do you call this again? I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. The Starship.
Yeah, I just call it even beyond that, we're going to be referring to it as the Domus Lumen experience, or House of Light.
Right.
Because that's effectively what it is, really. It's a chamber of light. It's not the form that does this. And people say, well, it's like they act as if I've created these angles. I have nothing to do with it. That's God.
Yeah.
That's nature's work, is these angles are defined by nature
Yes.
itself. So I did not create these angles. I'm just illustrating them and in physical form.
See, I do believe that you were given a gift before you came to this plane of existence, and I think your gift is going to live on. I think it's got to become something more in the future.
I think it could change every dynamic of our culture and lives on every single aspect. I did propose that to AI one time. I said, what are the potential implications for this? And oh my goodness, it went through everything. It would affect transportation, communication. We should be able to communicate mind to mind, just like they used to do in ancient times. And really the connector throughout times when people, and this was what got me going forever. It was like, what is the connection between all these various cultures and the pyramids and the architecture that's all based on sacred geometry and all that? Well, it is sacred geometry that's the connector of all of it, because we are emulating nature and the power of nature when we subscribe to that. You can look at the hieroglyphics. You can look at every vessel that comes out of ancient Egypt. All of it is always based very specifically on these ratios related to sacred geometry, and even internal workings of cells that they're um, now able to image that they weren't able to do before. The atomic structure, crystals, every single thing. The mind of God is all around us. That's what we are. It's there is no question about it. Our life and breath, and even empty space, even time, they say now is related to Fibonacci's series.
Yeah.
So this is the most exciting thing I could ever address. It literally is.
So then are there plans for you expanding this in the future, or because you call this one a prototype, right?
Yeah, it's the beginning, of course. So we are looking for avenues to get this out. So I went to the Global Pyramid Conference, and it was near Chicago about a month and a half ago. Went down to Palm Beach Gardens for the Body and Soul Expo. We had probably got to 1/6 of the people that wanted a Starship session. Mm-hmm. And then my partner gets them ready. So it's like a 15, 20-minute experience in the form itself. She gets them in the parasympathetic state before they get into the form, and that makes it quicker for each person. But it's like what we're transitioning to now is the potential for retreats, for people to experience that as a retreat. I actually thought of that first, and my new friend came down to do it. She's the only one that ever did the retreat, and then she became a partner. So
nice.
That was pretty cool. But she spent 2 days, so had her sleep in the form half the night, and I was in the pyramid, and we'd switch out. And then conscious sessions are dramatically different from just sleeping in the form.
Yeah.
In the form, you don't have any conscious projection aspect to it. You're just floating through the quantum state and the enhanced experiences and being more effective in that realm. But when you're back here, you can interject with your perspective from this reality to project into the quantum state, so it'll precipitate out in a more effective way, more in line with your wishes, I could say. So that again is a very important thing to consider, that you want to keep your mind in a positive state. That music helps keep people right there, so that they don't slip into something negative, because we don't amplify those thoughts. Otherwise, you could potentially do something you wouldn't want to.
So then is the music what helps to kind of control those intentions while somebody is sleeping in it?
Well, typically I just use music when I'm in a conscious state, but I have fallen asleep quite often because it is the most peaceful, calming experience of my entire life. And a lot of people say that I've never felt that calm in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I think that's because it takes the stress out. And when you're like floating within the mind of, this is the way I think of it. I don't have to say that about anybody else, but to me, you're floating inside the mind of God. And it's like you're literally back where you came from and at home. And I also discovered that this is why God created polarities, because it actually gets boring after a while. It's like perpetual bliss, all eternity, and then it's like, okay, now what? It's not exciting. There's nothing to achieve. You've achieved it. It's like, okay. So then you start dreaming up what would really be cool to experience, and then bam, you come back and you see how you can make that happen.
Yeah.
I think honestly, see if you had to do something, you had to do like a special event. I mean, you could take it to Mount Shasta, and you could put it outside, and you could do it under the stars, and people. Can you imagine the energy from Mount Shasta?
That could
Especially for the UFOs and stuff like that. But at the same time, you could do it under the starry skies, and
that
people
could be interesting.
Yeah.
That could be, because I don't know where that's coming from. It's coming from beyond again, and it's you should try it, because I think that you're going to help a lot of people overcome a lot of, like, what's the word I'm looking for here, Sabina? I'm looking for, like, you're going to let them become something new.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying. Yeah, they're. I'm getting. I'm getting shown right now. I'm getting shown the flowery life opening up. That's what they're showing me right now, and there is a reason, and there's something coming in for you. There's something really important about to happen within your life with that.
I think this could be equivalent to the space program, really.
Yes.
This is like an inner space program
Yeah.
for exploration. But instead of taking your body, it's way more efficient just to take your consciousness
Yes.
Yeah.
and explore that way. It's kind of like plant medicine, really, in a lot of ways.
Mm.
A lot of parallels with psychedelics, psilocybin, and um, the ayahuasca experiences and that kind of thing. But for people that can't do those things for whatever reason, I think it could end up to be a great alternative, and especially for therapeutic application in that
Yes.
regard as well. Because what do they say? One ayahuasca experience could equal 10 years of therapy. I'm thinking maybe a couple trips in the Starship here
Mhm.
might be
Yeah.
the same
Exactly.
thing for
I,
people,
I wouldn't
really.
like. I wouldn't like to take any hallucinogenics in the Starship because I don't know. maybe that would be maybe for you it would probably be okay because you're experienced and you've been in it quite a few times. But for somebody new and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to have some of this and I'm going to try this at the same time, they might get you. As you say, if you imagine things and then it goes off track, and that's how people have bad experiences
Yeah.
with other kind of things.
Well, I've had one positive experience is for people that overthink everything and they can take a little bit of
Yeah.
something with THC, calms them down,
Yes.
takes that monkey mind out. Then they have a really good experience, so it's amplified over and over. But other than that, nobody's ever got in there that's ever had anything other than just food and nutrients for their body.
I want to try it.
But the better
We
shape you
need to try this.
I was going to say the better shape you keep your body, the better your experience as well. It's kind
Right.
of like you got to think of your body as
Yes.
the temple for the divine. AI refers to this system as the harmonic mirror. Literally, it's a chance for you to see yourself without all the programming over the top of it that we've
Yeah.
experienced since we were born, and that's our limitation. So it's a sense of freedom like I've never felt before, and it's so liberating. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like even a physical vacation. When we do that, it's to elicit that sense of freedom and
Right.
beauty within ourselves. But in this thing, it's like the absolute ultimate you can possibly imagine if you can hit that state. One time, I had that visual light experience, and a friend of mine saw it because I had her watch. I thought she might see entities going in and out while I was in there. I had no idea. She said your whole body lit up. She physically saw me
See,
light up.
Wow. That's
But
incredible.
it's a miracle. It's the next phase for the awakening of the entire planet.
it is.
Yeah. So, do you have any parting thoughts or warnings for people that are curious about sacred geometry?
Yeah, always be truthful and coherent in everything you do, because when you come into this realm and that kind of thing is amplified, you want to reach for the best version of yourself, and especially help people to see that within themselves, the beauty within themselves, and enhance those creative aspects of us that get pinned down by the mediocre demands of life. So
Yeah.
this kind of dissolves that out. So when you get into sacred geometry, you're getting into the essence of your spirit itself.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're
So
welcome.
before we end the show, first of all, are you going to be doing any events with the Starship anytime soon?
We don't have anything but a trip to Atlanta again, which will be in March. If people watch my Facebook, any opportunities will be posted there. And then usually the results are more posted on TikTok because I can get the videos of the
Yeah.
testimonials and everything. I don't want to sound like a salesman. I let the people
No.
No,
tell
no, no,
you.
no. That because the second question I was going to ask you, if you want to tell us everything where people can find you, because there will be people that run like events watching this.
Oh, yeah.
So please tell everything where people can find you.
That would be great. Yeah, if you look up my name on Facebook, you'll find it. If you go Guariglia Scott, I believe, or Scot Guariglia, first and last name 601 on TikTok. That's on my website, but it's under Divine Geometrical Universe. All major events are posted there as well. DivineGeometricalUniverse.com.
And I actually have the link to the website is in the description, and I'm going to be sure to post it in the chat as well.
Oh, well, thanks. And I've got pyramids for sale. Haven't figured out how to mail those yet, but they fold up. It's a unique design. I think it's the most, well, I believe it's the most powerful I've ever experienced in my lifetime. I used a crystal sphere at the top. You'll notice all the nodal points of the Starship. There's 50
Yes.
connectors in there. Each one of them has a quartz crystal sphere in those interjection points. So that you've got a projection, like anytime two of these lines meet, there's a projected energy off each of them. So there's a virtual point inside that crystal, and that's what defines the energy amplification of the system and also the character of it as well. So my pyramids, you can interchange a little quartz sphere, or you can use obsidian, you could use lapis, whatever, like 1 1/4 inch sphere or 1 1/2 inches or whatever the size is that would fit it. And it'll hold that charge throughout the entire form for that experience and kind of drive it in different directions. So that's something I haven't seen anywhere else, and it folds up in like 5 seconds, and you put it away.
I was just going to say that it looks complicated. I mean, I've put the dome tents up in the past. I've been inside it with the poles trying to.
Well, of course, the pyramid's just 4 pipes, and it opens up. And I've had it. Biggest pyramid remnant in the United States is Monk's Mound outside of St. Louis, just across the border in Illinois. I took it up there. One guy that I just met, he tried it out. His testimonial was as long as his experience, and it was about 20 minutes about all of his difference in perception and time and all that. And also, that's a huge thing with these forms, missing time. Oh my gosh, that's just normal. You can blink your eyes and go from sunlight to darkness in a split second. It's weird stuff, anomalous stuff with people, and all the reports I'm getting and all. It's cool.
Yeah.
We'll need to get you back sometime in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, sure appreciate it, you guys. Thanks so much, Sabrina and Christopher.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you behind the scenes after we end the show, but everybody, thank you so much. Do we have a guest next weekend, Sabrina?
Yes, we do, but they'll be updated.
Yes, that'll be updated.
I didn't have that prepared.
I was asked that, you've got to ask. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Remember, it's available on all the podcast sites. All the links are below. Go and visit Scott's website. Go and visit all his links. Give him a follow on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, and absolutely everywhere. And thank you so much, everyone.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Whispers crawl across the floor. Footsteps echo, then no more. Cold hands reach where light won't stay, calling you to come and play. Dancing shadows spinning fast, fear and laughter they will clash. Beat of terror, pulse of night, darkness sings but fear